What's up everyone? Welcome once again to the channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles and today we're gonna be talking about Miss Universe Philippines. And listen, I am so happy, so excited because since the press presentation the other day, things are going so fast. Today I woke up to the beautiful surprise that we have the official 69 headshots of all of the delegates of this year's edition, and trust me, there are some really good ones. During today's video, I'm gonna be presenting to you my favorite headshots and telling you the things that I think they did well, and also providing a little bit of feedback when needed. As usual, I hope that you find some sort of value and entertainment in this video. If you do, don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, hit that join button to become a channel member. Thank you guys for watching, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright everyone, so we are starting things very strong with a candidate that I didn't get to talk about on my previous video about Miss Universe Philippines, and of course that is the representative from Isabella, Jarina Sandu. And honestly, I've been hearing a lot of things about this girl, her beauty, her potential, and all of those things. And well, here she is finally on one of my videos. I have to say that I really love her headshot and I really love the composition of it all. Her skin looks extremely radiant. I love the makeup work here with the lip gloss, the eyes, the way that all of the colors really complement each other, and also the attention to detail through the accessories. If there is something that I should point out here, I think it will be a little bit of the pose, as I think that especially on the neck, if we turn a little bit more, it makes the neck seem a little bit longer. First impression when I saw the photo, I felt like maybe she's a little bit hunched, but of course that doesn't take away from the beauty of the headshot. And if I could, I would also go ahead and perhaps increase a little bit more of the backlight that we have to separate her from the background. There are areas where we cannot fully see the styling of the hair because it blends with the backdrop so much. But I mean, regardless, nonetheless, she still managed to make it within my top 12 of standout headshots. Now let's talk about Miss Universe Philippines Laguna Eloisa Jawad. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if it's not. And listen, it is no secret to anyone that Eloisa is one of the most beautiful and most hyped newbies of this year's edition. I mentioned this before, she gave an incredible performance during her provincial pageant, and I can definitely get behind her victory in Laguna and the hype that she is receiving right now. There's a couple of things that I love about her portrait, and that is, first of all, it just screams pageant headshot. Sometimes we tend to lose a little bit or sacrifice for the sake of creativity, or sometimes the photographers want to go more on an editorial route, but this is quintessential pageantry. In some of her photos that I saw previously, there was sometimes a little bit too much makeup for my liking. However, here I can say that she looks natural, she looks polished, everything looks blended. It really complements her. The hairstyling is just perfect. And look at what I was telling you before, you know, the contrast with the background and just separating yourself with the background. I feel like the background in her photo really complements everything to make her the center of attention. Quite honestly, I don't have any major complaints, so just keep it up. Moving on to number 10, now let's talk about Miss Bacolod City, Luis Lian Bobe. And again, I think this is one of the girls that it's my very first time talking about them here on the channel for this season of Miss Universe Philippines. Very similar to the previous candidate that I was talking about. I love how her headshot is simply so pageantry infused. It embraces the beauty, the extra, the makeup, the volume of the hair. Everything is a hit. I really like as well how the photographer kind of smoothed everything here with the light. When you look at her face, it looks poreless. Of course, this is a combination of good lighting, good makeup, and good editing as well. And it literally embodies the expression that teamwork makes dream work. To be honest, I could have gone back and forth between her and my previous pick in terms of the ranking, but I decided to put her at number 10 because her facial expression just transmits a little bit more for me. It has a little bit touch of innocence, it's so delicate, but at the same time, you can see a little bit of an edge and a fierce side with the makeup and the cat eye, and there's something special in there that I really like. So Miss Bacolod City, good luck, and I think this is a really good review considering this is the first time being featured on the channel. Now it's time to talk about one of the fan favorites and one of my personal favorites, one of my biases, if I'm being honest, just being transparent with you guys, of course, Miss Sultan Kudarat Chelsea Fernandez. I loved the look that Chelsea delivered for the press presentation. I said it's so, you know, out there, it's so glam, it's so regal, it's so all of those things. And now Chelsea is giving us a different side. one that feels a little bit more personal, a little bit more dark, a little bit more natural. You can tell by looking at this picture that she is wearing makeup, but you cannot really tell like crazy makeup, extremely colorful whatsoever. So I really love the direction that the photographer took here to play with the highlights and the shadows, you know? I really love the fact that this photo could easily pass for a cream silk commercial, and I appreciate the fact that it brings out a different side of Chelsea. Now, on the feedback part of it, on the constructive criticism, I would say that for this to be a headshot, it's a bit too dark for my liking. I appreciate the dark side, the intimacy, the mystery that it brings to the table, but also on a headshot, you're supposed to see the candidate in her full element, right? So although this is an outstanding photo, I think that it could have been better for a different moment in the competition. And that explains the reason why I'm putting Chelsea's portrait at number 9 on my list. Moving on, let's talk about Miss Davao, who is representing the Filipino Society of Hawaii. And immediately the moment that I saw her photo, my eyes were drawn to her. Clearly, I am putting her at number 8 on my list, so I do think that there are other portraits that manage to stand out a bit more, but I thought she was extremely clever by including an element that very few delegates will go ahead and do, and that is including a flower. We'll get into that, but first, I want to mention I really like how natural looking this portrait is. I feel like when I look at her, the makeup is not overdone, the editing is not overdone. It really highlights all the beautiful things that she has to offer, and at the same time it presents it under a very polished, well-wrapped package. The flower behind the ears, other than obviously having some meaning to her, it also adds a little touch of feminine energy. It's very delicate. It also adds a little bit of color, because when you look at the color scheme of the photo, everything is more on the darker shades, on the brown. So it has that effect that I told you in the beginning. It draws your attention to it. Very clever and very effective. So please, Miss Hawaii, Miss Davao, continue going down this route. Now let's move on to number 7. And we have, of course, Miss Siniloan Laguna, Iliana Marie Aduana. One of my favorites, one of my biases. I'm not even gonna hide it. And you know what? Iliana, her face card has never, ever, ever in the history of pageantry been declined. My girl is just beautiful to the moon and back, and I don't care in which beauty standards, in which part of the world. I think that Iliana not only meets the requirements, but she also exceeds them. I am really a fan of the soft glam between the blush on the cheeks, the color of the lips, and really putting the emphasis here on the eye and just making it pop a little bit more, because I think that's one of Iliana's most beautiful features, other than the cheekbones and the jawline and the long neck. Listen, she's just beautiful from head to toe. But if I had to give a little bit of feedback here, I would actually say the hair color. I don't know why. Perhaps this was shot a couple of weeks ago, because in the present moment, Iliana is rocking black hair, which I like because it really makes, it really contrasts with her skin. Here, although she looks beautiful, I think that the brown tone kind of softened things up. And I don't know about you, but I like my Iliana with a little bit of an edge. It makes her a bit more fierce, and in my opinion, it fits a little bit more the Miss Universe prototype. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. For me, definitely a standout, so I'm giving it my 7th position. At number 6, we have Miss Baguio City Negros Occidental, who also represents the Filipino Society of San Francisco. Lord, that is a mouthful, and listen, simple as this. I don't have to explain too much. Look at this photo. She's beautiful? Yes. The makeup is great? Yes. The hair is great? Yes. The lighting, editing, and setup is great? Yes. She also looks happy. She looks like she's happy to be there, like she's happy to be doing this, like she's excited for the competition. It's an honest smile. It doesn't look rehearsed or forced whatsoever. This is the type of things that I want to see. A lot of the girls on this batch who didn't make my top 12 actually were so beautiful, but I can feel no emotion. I can feel no connection when I look at the portrait, because it's just they're trying so hard to pose, or they're trying so hard to be someone that they're not. This is what I like. So spontaneous, so beautiful, so radiant. Look at the teeth, the smile. This girl is gorgeous. Miss Kyla, if you're watching this, I want more of this, okay? Show us that gorgeous smile. I want a lot more of this. Alright, boys and girls and those in between, I am so excited to talk about Miss Nueva Ecija, who also represents the Filipino Society of Melbourne, Miss Chanel Olive Thomas, a former Miss Supranational Philippines. So of course, we are in the Supra family over here. And I'm super excited to talk about her. I mean, you guys might remember that Chanel was one of the first girls who was announced to be joining Miss Universe Philippines this year, at least from the overseas communities. And I think that she is extremely beautiful. Now, I'm gonna be fully honest with you. On the press presentation, I was not really a fan of the overall look, the package, in terms of the styling, the way that she presented herself during that time. But what I've seen so far of Chanel in terms of photography, exquisite. I cannot complain. Look at this photo. The facial structure is so refined. She got the makeup right. The hair is not your typical pageant hair, but at the same time, you get a little bit of editorial, you get a little bit of pageant. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is one of the most beautiful girls in the entire batch. I just hope that what I have been seeing so far in the photo shoots and the styling part of, the campaigns can also be presented in the real life events. Because honestly, when I look at this photo, there isn't anything that I will point out, change, modify. Chanel, this is exquisite. So congratulations to you and your team as well. Alright, we are getting close to the end of my list. At number 4, we have Miss Muntinlupa, of course, Teresita Sen Marquez. Also one of my favorites, one of my biases and whatnot. So listen, Teresita always delivers and this time is no exception. I kid you not, when I first saw this photo, the first thing that came to mind was if they were going to do a live action movie of Pocahontas, I hope they cast Teresita because, I mean, she is giving me Disney princess, she is giving me natural woman, she is giving me cream silk commercial. I truly appreciate this photo for its simplicity, how fierce it is, and also how fun. We can feel some movement here going on with the hair. I can imagine that there is a fan in front of her or at least an assistant helping blow some wind for the hair. Teresita's eyes are just locked on the camera, like they are locked on the prize and the ultimate goal, which is the crown. So it's a beautiful portrait. When I look at it, I can feel a certain emotion, a certain sense of peace. She's at ease. She knows what she can deliver and she is on her journey towards the crown. Maybe I'm stretching it too much. It's just an incredible photo. We are officially at my top 3 and the third position goes to Miss Bohol, Miss Tyra Goldman. I got to talk about her on the press presentation video and now we are talking about her again, so reoccurring. I like the consistency. This is a beautiful portrait. Of course, I think it really highlights her natural beauty, her facial structure. I like how fierce and defined the makeup is here. And I also like the fact that, one of the newbies can go head to head against 69 other candidates and against some veterans and fan favorites and whatnot. So this is a very pleasing surprise. I do think that the makeup here is slightly different from what we saw on the press presentation. So I can also appreciate seeing a different side of her. But overall, without stretching it too much, I saw this photo and I thought immediately, it has to be really up there. So to the entire team, Miss Tyra, I want more of this. Don't change it. You are on the right path. Give us this or even more. I don't know. All right, now let's talk about my second pick and that goes to Miss Quezon Province, Maria Atiza Manalo. Of course. Listen, when I saw this photo, I could hear the angels singing because this is exactly what I have been wanting from Atiza. In my last video, I told you guys that I will make a separate video about, Atiza's styling and whatnot going forward. And I'm still working on that, so no worries. You will get that video for sure. But listen, this is what I like. Atiza here, in my opinion, embodies all of the things that are her strengths, let's call it that, while at the same time, still keeping a little bit of an edge. Don't you agree that there is this sense of like princessy-like beauty here? It's very soft, it's very feminine, it's very light. Look at the rosy cheeks, look at the pink lips. There's nothing extremely harsh, like harsh contour or very dark tones or red lips and whatnot. It's very soft. In terms of the hairstyling, same thing. You can tell that this is pageant hair, but it's not overly dumb. It's still kind of like natural waves, very soft. I can feel like I can put my fingers through the hair and it's not gonna get stuck because of the hairspray, right? It brings a level of refinement, which is exactly what I think Atiza needs going forward in the competition. During the press presentation, we saw the dark side, you know, the dark suit and whatnot. Here, we are more on the softer side of things. I cannot fully see the garment, but she's wearing something white and a beautiful diamond necklace, expensive, luxurious, regal. Keep it up, Atiza. This is what I want to see from you. So let's keep going down this path. Alright, and my number one pick, the best headshot of this year's edition of Miss Universe Philippines, in my humble opinion, goes to Miss Baguio City, Gwendolyn Melis Soriano. Let me tell you, simple as this. I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. When I saw this photo, I thought, Miss Universe Philippines. That is the look of a title holder. Simply put, her type of beauty is simply exquisite. And I love the fact that what I'm seeing here is also what I saw during the press presentation in the non-studio photos and like even from the fans, from the media. She looked flawless from every single angle. She looks the same way on an unprofessional photo, just as she does on a professional photo shoot such as this one. If you think of the things that I have been highlighting in the other delegates who are on my list, I feel like this photo really embodies all of those things. It has the softness, perhaps, of some of the contestants that I mentioned. It has the fierceness of some of the other ladies that I mentioned, the feminine energy, but at the same time, it brings that glamour and boldness of the pageant styling. I will say that if I had to pick, as of today, a candidate that I think is standing out from the newbies, I would say Miss Gwendolyn is really on the right track. And if she's able to keep up her momentum and the packaging that she has been delivering so far, I think that she could easily become one of the fan favorites for the crown, and perhaps even the favorite for the crown. Anyways, what about you guys? Who had your favorite headshot of this year's edition of Miss Universe Philippines? Also, let me know if you are rooting for a newbie or for a veteran to represent the Philippines at Miss Universe. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, join to become a channel member. I will see you on the next one with more contents. Until then, stay safe and be kind to one another. Bye!